Welcome to our executive interview series at CyberTalks, presented by CyberScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash with Scoop News Group, and we're here with Jennifer Franks, Director, Center for Enhanced Cybersecurity at the Government Accountability Office. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Jennifer, first of all, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're seeing federal agencies still facing in meeting the White House executive order on zero trust security?
Well, that's a good question. So the White House executive order really does describe a lot of different metrics that go into the zero trust architecture maturity model. So when you're thinking about ZTA, it's just not one concept. You have to think about your endpoints. You have to think about the inventory across your various agencies, your hardware and your software assets. You have to think about your access controls, and those do have the ability to authenticate into your various environments every single day. You have to think about your threat modeling and your incident response programs, and all of those components and more included into that really build up your solid maturity as you go through the different pillars of your zero trust architecture program. And where agencies are really struggling is just the metrics and the prioritization order of what it is they need to do, when, where, and how, and the resources. A lot of the tools and technologies a lot of us had in-house already, but a lot of that we did not. So we're having to really figure out what it is we need to do and how it is we're going to get that funding and implement some of those progress efforts before the necessary deadlines.
And then as the cybersecurity workforce gap widens, what steps is GAO recommending that agencies take to invest and build that talent pipeline?
That's a good question. We do a lot of cyber-related workforce work, and a lot of agencies lack just a strategic plan. Like, what is your plan to really increase the pipeline of IT and cybersecurity professionals? Have you really assessed the necessary skill gaps and where it is you need to really look for compliance within your various organizations? How are you performing your recruitment and then your hiring and working with your human capital offices? And even when you get the talent in-house, what does your retention modeling look like? How are we training and developing these employees once they get here? So we're starting with that strategic plan because a lot of organizations want to hire and they want to have the talent, but they don't really have a plan in place to really do so and look at what it's really going to be needed. And there's a lot of working efforts across the federal government to really put some programs in place for public-private partnerships to get folks in here who are really cyber ready and cyber enthused to come into the federal government and really work with us, because the employee opportunities are here and we're excited to bring them on. But when they come on, we want them to stay within the federal government. So there's definitely some rotational programs and some really good incentives to really bringing in some of that new talent. But it really does start with the agency strategic plans.
Such an important point. Well, Jennifer Franks, thank you so much for adding to the conversation here at CyberTalks.
Thanks for having me.